This is Luke McCombs, and we are here to talk about the difference between gasoline and diesel engines. Diesel engines are much better than gasoline engines overall because they're more powerful, more efficient, and they last much longer. The diesel engine has been around roughly over a century. It was created in the late 1890s by a famous German inventor. His name is Rudolf Diesel. Diesel also became an engineer of his own engine after he created it. The perfection of the engine took just about half a century, but now diesel has evolved into a very clean burning, very efficient model of engine that simply outlasts, outruns, and is incredibly more efficient than gasoline. Basically, diesel is more efficient, more powerful, and lasts much longer. And diesel in the efficiency department is right off the bat double the efficiency of gasoline, simply because diesel fuel, which is classified as an oil, as compared to gasoline, which is classified as a solvent, contains more energy per gallon, also known as joules in the technical term, than gasoline. Diesel efficiency is also extremely different than gasoline, because it is able to produce the same amount of power using much less fuel. Because diesel does not introduce ignition by combustion, it actually operates on combustion by compression. In a gasoline engine, combustion is achieved by the introduction of fuel, air, and spark. In a gasoline engine, you eliminate one of the two, and you deal with basically just fuel and air. The spark is eliminated. So, the injection of the diesel fuel directly into an extremely compressed environment creates a more efficient burn and therefore a more efficient output of energy than gasoline, almost double. In the power department, diesel engines are, head and shoulders above gasoline, excuse me, because they are able to operate at much lower revolutions per minute, also known as RPMs in gasoline, and achieve higher results. Actually, in a graph here, we have a 6-liter General Motors gasoline engine with very similar specifications to the 6.4 Power Stroke diesel model designed by Navistar International, which is a Ford motor. You can see that the gasoline engine, operated at 4,200 RPMs, produces 380 foot-pounds of torque, as compared to the diesel engine operated by Ford. It is in half of the RPMs, which would mean it is operating more efficiently, 2,000 RPMs as compared to 4,200, yet it doubles the torque at 650 foot-pounds. Right away you'll notice that simply the diesel, just by design, is more efficient, can produce double torque, makes it much more powerful, and can work a third as hard to produce the same result. So now let's regroup of what we've done so far. We've talked about why diesels are more powerful. We've talked about why diesels are more efficient. Now let me briefly touch on why they last much longer. Obviously they last longer because they only have to work half as hard to produce the same or better results. Also, diesel engines are built to incredibly higher specification. The block and cylinders are much thicker. The drivetrain itself is much heavier duty than a gasoline engine. And the fuel, which I said earlier was classified as an oil, as to a solvent, actually lubricates the engine much better. So basically the engine operates at much less stress levels and temperature per size than a gasoline engine. So I think we've covered that diesels are more powerful, they're more efficient, and they last much longer. Is there any questions?
When was the diesel engine invented?
1893 by Rudolf Diesel. He was a famous inventor back in Germany, and he created the first one, which was actually later in a cruise ship.
Are diesel engines used in other vehicles other than automobiles and machinery?
Absolutely. They're widely used now. Many small compact cars are going to diesel because simply the efficiency cannot be matched by gasoline.
Do diesel engines smoke and have very strong fuel odor like many transfer trucks I've seen in the past?
Well, diesel engines have evolved into such a different animal now. You could set the two side by side and you could probably not even tell the difference between a gasoline and a diesel engine. They don't smell. They're a little bit louder, but just barely so. Diesel has evolved into something much better than gasoline.